In this video, I'd like to talk to you about errors or common errors that you see in pursuing integrative negotiation tactics. Now, if you're not sure about what are integrative negotiation tactics, see our video on what is an integrative negotiation first, and then see our prior video to this on what are integrative negotiation tactics that you use. That is, tactics that you use to achieve objectives that are oriented towards making a negotiation integrative in nature rather than distributive in nature. So with that being said, I'm just going to give you some common errors that are well documented and commonly arise. The first being overcommitment to reaching a win-win deal, right? Reaching a negotiated agreement. Now, if the scenario is such that a negotiation should not happen, a negotiated outcome should not arise, right? It is not within your reservation point, that is, you should not accept it. Overcommitting to the idea of creating value in the negotiation to try to come to an agreement can ultimately cause you to accept an outcome, particularly with regard to any particular interest that is otherwise unacceptable to you, that causes you to forego or lose value, right? So in that way, overcommitment oftentimes results in a subpar outcome to you, but it can also, in the same vein, result in the failure of the negotiation altogether, right? That is, particularly when the other party shows an excessive level of commitment to reaching some form of negotiated agreement, but once again, the interests do not line up, all right? So that's a common tendency. Next is over tendency to compromise, all right? Characteristic of an integrative negotiation is cooperation. That is, the parties are willing to work together to figure out a way to add mutual value in the negotiation. So how are they going to do that, right? Compromise in some form is necessary in there, right? That is, both parties are willing to compromise to come to an agreement on interests, particularly when there are purely distributive interests at stake, right? There may be also compatible and integrative interests, but a purely distributive interest at stake in the negotiation. An over willingness to compromise can lead to the other party, who may be slightly less willing to compromise or more competitive or aggressive, right, in the negotiation, taking advantage of you, okay? That is, you lose value that otherwise you should have been able to grab or acquire in the negotiation because you are overly willing to compromise, okay? So once again, compromise is extremely important, but it has to be present at the right times with a view towards the orientation of the other party towards compromise. Lastly, relationship focus. An excessive focus on maintaining the relationship, maintaining the feelings of the other party, right, can be detrimental to an integrative negotiation. It can cause you, once again, to stop looking at creating value for everyone and focus more on creating value for the other party just to keep them happy, right? And that could be a business relationship that you want to continue, or a familiar or social relationship that you want to maintain and don't want to injure or harm in any way. So with that being said, an excessive focus on the relationship can thwart the objectives of the integrative posture in a negotiation to raise all ships, to create additional value for everyone. So these are the three most common errors you'll see in the use of integrative tactics.